till now what we have done is we have done producer, we have done the proper setup of cluster, we have done consumer groups, and I think we are in you can say that one level deeper, like we know the internals, how Kafka works, right? So we all are on same page. Now the next part is the Kafka stream, which is very important. So till now whatever we have done, the current flow is that producer publish an event, events stored in particular topic partition, consumer read the event from the partition, process them, like send notification. So this is generally what we have done. So now before we start Kafka stream, understand its architecture, syntax and all, and the flow, we need to first understand what are the use cases where Kafka stream is useful, because that need to be clear. And today in this short video I will cover this part only. So let's start. So from above flow we can easily notice few things from this flow what we have already done. In Kafka consumer, each event is processed independently, means no memory of previous event or messages required. So yes, if we have 10 events, you have a consumer, let's say it read one event, send notification, second event, send notification, third event, do something, send notification, likewise. So each event is independent, output depend on current event only, and there is no need to remember anything from the previous event or message. So this is known as stateless processing, what we have done till now. But what if we need stateful processing? So in interview there are many scenarios which or not even in interviews, you can say that in real world when you are working, there are many use cases where you need to have a stateful processing. What does it stateful processing says? The output depend on the previous events too. So it's your current event plus your previous events also. So we need to remember the states from the previous messages also. So it's not now independent on the current event. So you have to store certain state from the previous messages also. That's what it known as stateful processing. Now because of this stateful processing, or whatever we have done in Kafka consumer, that will not work, because Kafka consumer is designed for stateless processing. Okay, so what we have done is, right, one event comes, we do certain processing, then again another event comes, we do certain processing, then it's stateless, means each event processing do not depend upon the previous event. Okay, so the real world problems which interviewer or you might face in day-to-day work is real time aggregator. This is one use case. So let's say interviewer says that we need to find out in real time the total revenue per customer. So you have multiple customers, but you need to find out that, and events are coming, that customer 1 purchase, let's say for 50 rupees, customer 2 purchase for 30 rupees, customer 1 purchase for 70 rupees. So it's happening. Okay, so our requirement is in real time we need to find out the total revenue per customer. Like customer 1 total sales, let's say $100, customer 2 $150. And another use case is real time leaderboard you have to do. So that also can be done through Kafka stream. Generally this is also can be solved through Redis jet set, sorted set, but with Kafka stream also it is possible to do real time leaderboard. Let's say user C 50 points till now, let's say user A till now has solved 2 problems only, so 35 points. User B has solved only 1 problem, let's say 15 points, likewise. Just an example. So building this with plain Kafka consumer, what we have done till now, is not easy. So one approach we might be doing to solve this real-time aggregation is storing the state in memory. So let's say that this is how we used to do, right? The Kafka consumer, we have @Kafka listener, the topic, and each one by one event we come and we do process. So one thing we are doing is storing the state in memory. So we maintain a map in memory to store the state of the messages. Okay, so now let's say consumer 1, till now total sale is $10. So I have put into this revenue map. Now another event comes, let's say consumer 1 again $20. So what I will do is I am updating this map itself. So consumer 1, now it update to $30. So this information is stored in the in-memory map. So that is our one approach if you are going with a plain Kafka consumer. So the problem is, what if application crash? So now let's say, for example, you have already processed 1 lakh events and you have built this map, C1, C2, C100, they have like certain this one. Now what if your application crash itself? So your memory, in memory gone. Now you have, when this is assigned to some other node, or when a new server comes up, they have to build this map again. So they have to replay the event from offset 0, then only you can get this map back again. So you have to replay from offset 0 in case of application crash, because your in-memory data will go. Another is multiple instance. So now let's say for this order event has 2 partition, partition 0, partition 1, order hyphen events. Now in case you have 2 consumer 1, consumer 2. So they, let's say both are taking 1 partition each. So now what would happen is consumer 1 is maintaining in-memory map, consumer 2 is also maintaining some in-memory map. So it has data for, let's say, user 1, user 2, it has user 3, user 4. So they both have partial data, okay, and they need the capability of sharing the information to each other. But in case of multiple instances, each instance maintain partial data as each instance read from different partition. That is another problem. So you might be thinking that, okay, instead of in-memory map, what if I go with the approach 2, that is storing the state in MySQL. Now understand that now what we are doing is, from let's say MySQL repository, we are reading by ID, we are adding whatever, let's say we have to update its state. So earlier was $10, now we are doing plus the current $20 and we are updating its state. So this is get call, this is, let's say, not get call, this is your, let's say, select query, this is your update query in MySQL. Now the problem is that in case of Kafka event, for each Kafka event we are doing select and then we are doing update. So let's say we have 1 lakh events per second, we have per second, then we need 1 lakh select query, 1 lakh update query per second. So now our database become the bottleneck because this is a network call. So there is again a problem. So this is just a one problem, that real-time aggregation. That is just one thing. But there are many other use cases, let's say window operation. What if interview says now, let's say somehow you solve this, okay, using, let's say, in-memory plus persistence, something you combine and you resolve this. Now let's say what if interview says, hey, I need window operations also. Means, let's say, total revenue in last 5 minutes only. Now what we have to do? Now we need to track the timestamp manually. We need to expire the old entries manually. Okay, only we have to consider the latest 5 minutes. Then multiple instance, each is see partial window data. So let's say again the same thing, part 2 partition if you have, and you have 2 consumers, both reading from different partition. So it has partial data of the 5 minutes, let's say only 1, 2, it has partial data of the 5 minutes, let's say 3, 4. Okay, so they have partial data and they need a distributed sharing something mechanism. Okay, so window operation is also one more challenge. Another challenge which interviewer can put is like you need a joining of 2 tables. Let's say from order you take out a customer ID. Now from that customer ID, you need to join the customer profile topic, and you need to fetch the customer name. So what we are saying that we have to enrich certain with more information. So we are doing a joining between two topics, order event and customer profile. So if we go with the plain Kafka consumer, again the same problem will come as, let's say if you have, let's say partition 0 for example, and only one consumer 1, it is reading this partition. One thing you need is that you need to maintain, whenever any consumer profile data comes, it need to maintain a map. Let's say for example that, okay, for this consumer ID C1, this is the data, name, something, object. Okay, similarly it has to maintain everything. And now when the order event comes, it has to look up this map. But the problem is same. What if the app crash? Then you have to read the customer profile, you have to replay from the offset 0. So always there is a problem. Okay, so one thing is you need to maintain the map for the customer profile. Second is, if there is an application crash, this map will go away. Then you have to rebuild it from replaying offset 0. And another is multiple consumer instance. That is also another same problem. Let's say consumer A maintain partition 0 of both the topic. Let's say order events and consumer profile both have two partitions, P0 P1, P0 P1. Both topic has two partition. Now consumer A taking care of partition 0 of both this topic. Okay. Similarly consumer B taking care of partition 1 of both the topic. Now what happened is that consumer is maintaining in-memory map for this consumer profile. Let's say it is maintaining its consumer 3, consumer 4. It is maintaining consumer 1, consumer 2. Okay. Now let's say in consumer A order event in the partition 0, it comes and it required consumer 4 ID. Now it need consumer 4 ID details. Will it get in its local map? No. Okay, so it is consumer 4 data is present into consumer B. So there is no way it can access its local map. So we need a distributed state sharing mechanism also. So we have to build that also. So if we go ahead and try to manually solve all of this with normal Kafka, what we have done, we will end up doing, or you can say that, building state management, windowing, joins, the crash recovery, and the scaling. All these things we have to keep building it, and ultimately we will create a stream framework itself. So Kafka Stream provide all of this thing itself. Okay, so we need to very clear that in which scenarios Kafka Stream is helpful. Okay, so these are just some use cases: real-time aggregation, window operation, join. So these are some, there could be many more. And yes, now I will, and before in the next topic I will come up with the architecture of Kafka Stream. So if you have not seen the previous video, I would say that highly recommend that at least go and check Kafka Consumer. So we have to be very clear with Kafka Consumer, because Kafka Stream also uses the same, you can say that, infrastructure itself. So the prerequisite of this would be like Kafka Consumer understanding, in-depth understanding how Kafka Consumer works. Then understanding the Kafka Stream would be little easy. We would be able to connect the dots.